because college is expensive, y'all. Who's trying to pay that? It's expensive. Go apply for scholarships and don't be lazy. What's up, beautiful human? Welcome to my channel. I'm Delores, and I'm gonna be sharing how I earned over $120,000 to cover my degree at Seton Hall University. And as I share my story, I'm gonna tell you 11 tips on how you can too. So I'm gonna take you back, give you a little history. I went to a social justice high school. It was a college preparatory high school called Capital Prep Magnet School in Hartford, Connecticut. Oh my God, I'm so grateful for that school because it exposed me to colleges that I wouldn't even have known about had we not gone on college tours. Towards the end of my junior year, maybe it was the summer of my senior year, we went on different college tours, and one of the colleges that we visited was Seton Hall University in New Jersey. Oh my God, I fell in love. It was one of those cliche stories that I went on the campus and it was so beautiful and I fell in love and I felt like I belonged there. Everyone seemed really nice and very down to earth. Seton Hall has a very servant leadership mission, and that's all that I'm about. So I fell in love and I was like, all right, this is where I'm going. And if you don't know, Seton Hall is a private school. So, you gotta cough up some coins. It is more expensive than a typical public school, but I just had it in me that this is the school that I was going to attend. So I applied and I got in and I was so happy. And I shared with my mom that I got accepted to Seton Hall. She congratulated me, but then she reminded me like, hold up, we cannot afford this. This school is about $40,000 a year. I think at the time, tuition was about $34,000 a year. And once you added on room and board, then we were looking at about $42,000. So my mom, being more realistic, was like, congratulations for getting in, but start looking at some state schools because there's no way we can afford a private school. So of course in that moment I was disappointed, but I just felt a fire inside of me that was like, nah, I'm going to Seton Hall. I'm gonna get a scholarship. And at the time I didn't know where I was gonna get a scholarship from or how it was gonna happen, but I had faith. So that's tip number one. Friend, you need to have faith. You need to believe in yourself. You have to manifest this. And a lot of times, if you listen to my podcast, I talk to young professionals about what they wish they could tell their younger self. When I think about this story, I wish that my younger self my younger self is telling me as 29-year-old Delores to keep having faith. There are certain things I want for my life now or in the future that sometimes I question, like, can I really become a millionaire? Can I really reach the masses? I start to doubt myself. And I want to continue to tap into that younger Delores who had that faith that when she was told that, maybe she wasn't going to be able to afford a private tuition scholarship or a private tuition university, that she was going to do it anyway. So I want you to remember to have faith, believe that you can accomplish what you put your mind to. So if you believe in the good Lord Jesus and you read the Bible, you'll also know that faith without work is dead. You have to put in work. So once you believe in yourself, you have to be ready to put in the work. So I wanted these scholarships so bad, I started to apply for scholarships on a daily basis. I would make myself get organized and commit to applying to 1 or 2 scholarships on a daily basis, depending on how long the application was. So with that being said, applying to scholarships can get very overwhelming because there's so many options, so many different types of scholarships. But this is when you cannot be lazy. You have to really put in the work. And tip number 2 is to get organized. So you want to get organized, and I'm going to put up a spreadsheet of how I organize, and this is exactly what you can do too. This will really help you feel less overwhelmed, and as you see scholarships that may not be open yet, you can start compiling your list of scholarships that you're going to apply to and keep track of the ones that you already have or where your progress is on them. So you're going to put the scholarship name, the due date, which is very important so you don't miss deadlines, how to apply, and the how to apply, like whether they need letters of recommendations, an essay. You could even break this column up even further and put all the different requirements in different columns, and then put an X as you complete so that you can keep track. Then you want to put the scholarship link, because if you ever have to go back, you don't want to spend hours trying to search, where did I find that Dunkin' Donuts scholarship? Well, Dunkin' Donuts, but where did I find that scholarship? I can't remember where I saw it. So if you just start compiling it, it really does help you to stay organized. And tip number 3 to help ease the overwhelm when you're applying to scholarships is to take some time to just write one really, really good essay. So this essay that you're gonna write is going to talk about who you are, what makes you you. Then you're gonna talk about what different things are you involved in your high school, in your community, church, whatever you're involved in, you're gonna talk about that. Then you're gonna talk about why you wanna, something that kind of speaks to why you wanna go to college, what you plan to do with your degree, and how that's gonna impact the world around you. If you write an essay that incorporates these 3 components, that's gonna really help you prepare for the different scholarship essays you're most likely going to have to write as you apply. So you already have that nice and clean. Make sure you get 1 or 2 people, probably 2 people, to read it. And then as you see different scholarships, now you can go into your big bank, your nice, juicy, good essay, and then you can start to pull from that without feeling like you have to write essays over and over and over and over again. Because I guarantee you that most scholarship essay requirements are going to have at least 1 out of the 3 components that I'm telling you to write. Okay, so when I was in high school, I was very involved. I was on the lacrosse team. I was captain of the cheerleading team. I was head girl, which is basically our way of saying president. So I was president of our school. I was very involved in community service. And my school required us to do a senior social justice project, which low-key is a whole doctoral dissertation, because we had to identify a problem, do a literature review essentially on the problem. Then we had to create an action plan to help combat the problem and actually implement it, and then write a really, really, really long paper. I think mine was like 45 pages, and this is in high school, about it. So I was very involved. And although those things made me exhausted with being involved and also working part-time at ShopRite and Dunkin' Donuts, they really helped put an edge on my application, on my scholarship applications and my college application. So if you can, make sure that you are involved. And it doesn't have to be what I do, but it can speak to whatever you're passionate about. So if it's mock trial, if it's the chess club, if it's the knitting club, do you, boo. Do what you're passionate about, because when you're passionate about it, you're going to speak to it flawlessly, and it's going to really help you stand out. With that, also try to make sure that you have a good GPA. So most scholarship applications that you're going to see are going to require a minimum GPA of a 3.0. If you are a little bit lower than that, that doesn't mean that you won't get scholarships, that there aren't scholarships for you, because there are scholarships for students who have a C average, because someone who created it had a C average when they were in high school or college, and they want to reach out to other students that do. So keep looking. There may be scholarships for you. There are scholarships for you. But the majority of the scholarships that you'll see are going to have a minimum requirement of a 3.0. So if your GPA isn't the best, this is where getting involved really helps, because it shows that you're a well-rounded student. So although you may not be the best test taker or the best SAT taker, you are involved in your community and you are making a difference. So that's a great way to help you stand out. So back to my social justice project. I did my social justice project on a mentoring program. So my school had middle school students and high school students under one school. And I started to see that our middle school students were struggling. I mean, you know, we've all been in middle school. When you're in middle school, there's girl drama. You're just trying to figure out who you are and come into yourself. So I saw a lot of our middle school students struggling, and I decided to create a mentoring program where a senior high school students mentor the middle school 7th and 8th grade students. So I went to a conference to learn more about how to have a bomb social justice project and have a great mentoring program that was really going to leave an impact on our students. And also, I think it was a break from school that day, I'll be real. But I was going for all those different reasons. And when I got to the conference, I went to the different breakout sessions, and I don't know, this had to be Angel. Like, man, the way God can order your steps when you're willing to put in the work and you have faith is just so amazing. You have to really open your eyes and look at those moments where God is really speaking to you and ordering your steps. So at this conference, a woman who I think definitely has to be Angel, because I never seen her again, don't even remember what she looks like, she came up to me and she was just making conversation like, oh, what brings you to the scholarship? And I was telling her that I'm working on my social justice project. really working to develop my mentoring program. And then she asked me where I wanted to go to college. And I was like, oh my God, I want to go to Seton Hall. I love Seton Hall. That is my dream school. I don't know if I could afford it, but I'm going to Seton Hall. So I was telling her this and she was like, oh, there's a dean here from Seton Hall. Do you want me to introduce you to him? And of course, I get really shy. And I was like, I don't know. I'm nervous. I don't know. And she was like, girl, like, let's just go. I'll introduce you to him. So she brings me over to one of the deans at Seton Hall. Dean McGinn, shout out to you. Dean McGinn has been a mentor to me since that very day, and it's been over 10 years. So she introduces me to him. I tell him about myself, what I'm doing at the conference, and tell him how badly I want to go to Seton Hall. And he tells me that he thinks that I would be a good candidate for the Dr. Martin Luther King Scholarship Association. So he tells me to go onto Seton Hall's website and apply for the MLKSA scholarship. And I'm like, wow, okay, I'll do that. And at the time, I didn't even know what the MLKSA scholarship was at the time. I probably would even have known to apply for it. And that's when learning about institutional scholarships are so important. If there's a school or a couple schools that you really, really want to go to, make sure you go on their website. So schools have institutional scholarships where most of the time you'll get them just by applying to the school and having a great GPA, a great merit. These are merit scholarships, meaning that you have a great GPA, you're a great overall student, and they want to see you on their campus. So they'll give you some institutional funds. But they also have institutional funds where you have to apply for. Many schools have that. Now, you can't use that scholarship money for any other schools, but it's completely for that school. So it's definitely worth looking at because a lot of people don't even think to look at it because everybody's on scholarships.com, which is a great resource, but they don't think to look at the institutional scholarships that the university that they really want to attend offers. So I applied to this MLKSA scholarship. It was very extensive. Oh, and I should tell you what MLKSA is. It was founded based on Dr. Martin Luther King's legacy to offer an academic tuition, full tuition, I forgot to mention that, to offer an academic full tuition scholarship to minority students who are servant leaders who speak to the mission of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and who are also doing well academically. So it was supposed to be a scholarship that helped to diversify the university and bring talented minority students onto the campus. So I applied. It was a very extensive scholarship application, but it was worth it, and I was willing to put in that work for that full tuition. I had to do an essay. I had to have letters of recommendations. And for letters of recommendations, make sure you ask folks ahead of time. So if the applications are due in February, tell them that deadline is January. You have to be ahead of the ball game. If someone is a little bit late on giving you their recommendation, you have that wiggle room and you will not miss the deadline. So that's an important thing to know. So anyway, it was a very extensive scholarship application, but I still did it and I was so excited. But then came the time to mail the scholarship. So by the time I even found out about the scholarship, it was pretty close to the deadline. I think I found out about the scholarship maybe in January and the deadline was in February. So I had 2 days to get my big scholarship packet to the state of New Jersey from Connecticut. So of course I had to overnight it. And I think it was somewhere between like $12 and $20. And I was like, well, guess I'm not about to apply because I don't got that money. Mind you, I had 2 jobs. 2 part-time jobs, but I was saving for books, I was saving for school. And at the time I was just like, I don't think I have this money. I don't know if it's worth it. What if I don't get this scholarship? And now I'm out of $12 to $20. But I have to thank God for Mr. W, my math teacher. I was telling him about this when I think he was asking me for an update on how the scholarship application was going. And I was like, man, I'm not about to mail it because it's like $12. And he was like, Delores, $12? You're worried about losing $12 for a chance to win and pay yourself $120,000, over $120,000 in scholarship money. And when I thought about that, I was like, okay, $120,000. So this is a full tuition scholarship. So Seton Hall was about $34,000 a year. So that's roughly over $120,000 once you break that into 4 years. So I'm like, $120,000, $12. All right, Let me go put in that scholarship and mail it. I'm so grateful that I did that. Thank you, Mr. W, for teaching me to invest in myself. So that's tip number 8, invest in yourself. If you're working part-time, I know it's not easy. I know it's a lot juggling school, part-time, your after-school activities. If you are working part-time, make sure you invest in yourself. It is cool to buy, different makeup or different things that you're into, but invest in your future. So if that means spending $2.99 on this app that helps you find great scholarships, I think it's $2.99 a month, or if that means paying for mailing in your scholarship applications or your college applications, these are all ways that you're investing in yourself to be able to make more money in the future. So never be afraid to invest in yourself. Friend, you are worth it. So I applied and I got the interview, y'all. So like I remember I told you, this was in a very extensive process. So it had the components that you had to, prepare to even apply. And then step 2 was an interview. So my village came through. My high school principal, my guidance counselor, different mentors came through and helped me prepare for my interview process. And so that is tip number 9, is it takes a village. Surround yourself by people who are going to help you get to where you want to be. And that could be your high school principal, people that work in your school, your teachers, that could be your mentor, that could be folks at church, that could be your friends who are just positive and who have the same state of mind as you. It takes a village, and surround yourself by people like that. And I'm so grateful for all the mentors who have been a part of my life from then even up until now. Shout out to y'all. So they helped me prepare for the interview process. And the interview process also required me to create a service-based project that I could hypothetically implement at Seton Hall. So I was like, okay, well, I'm working on this social justice project in high school. Why don't I just take that and implement that at Seton Hall? So I'm really bad at hypothetical conversations or hypothetical situations. I need to really envision how it's going to happen. So me taking the leap and taking a couple steps ahead. And at the time, I wasn't even thinking that this was going to give me an advantage. I was just thinking, how do I make sure that I'm sharing something that's going to be realistic when I go in for that interview? So I looked on Seton Hall's website and I said, okay, do they have a mentoring program that goes into the community of lower income folks and mentors, takes college students and mentors young girls in lower income areas like the program that I have? So I didn't see anything that was offered, but I did see that they had something called the Division of Volunteer Affairs. I think I'm getting that right, Dove. So I called Dove and I was like, hey, I'm trying to go to Seton Hall next year, and hypothetically, if I created a mentoring program that required college students to go into the community and mentor young girls, would you be able to support that? Would you be able to give us rides? How would that work? And so Dove walked me through how they would be able to partner, and I was able to take that into my project as I spoke to that. MLKSA has a huge mission for servant leadership and giving back in the community. So this really helped put me in an advantage because I took the steps to make sure that the project that I was sharing with them was going to be possible. So again, you can't get lazy. You got to put in that work if you want to stand out. Okay, so it's the day of the scholarship and I was so nervous. And so my uncle and my mother drove me to Seton Hall University in New Jersey for my interview that day. And again, I was so nervous and I was so impressed by the current scholars. So the students who were already a part of the scholarship organization were called scholars. And I was so impressed at how poised they were, how well spoken they were, how intelligent they were, and the different conversations they were having. And I was like, I need to be a part of this crew. So impressive. And they also took the scholarship very seriously and what they were being given and what they were required to give back to the community for what the scholarship was pouring into them. So I was impressed. I felt like I belonged there and I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to learn from them. So before I even walked into the interview room, my mom said to me, you will be the head and not the tail. So however this works, you will be the head and not the tail. And really, thanks, Mom, because that's what I needed to hear in that moment. I needed to hear that I'm going to give it my best, and regardless, even if I'm their second or third choice for the scholarship, because they pick only 10 scholars a year. They were interviewing 40 people. I think maybe hundreds applied, but they interview 40 people, and then they only pick 10 scholars a year, 10 incoming freshmen. So I was like, after my mom said that to me, I was like, all right, I may not be number 1 or number 2, their number 1 or 2 pick, but I'm going to be the head. I'm going to be a part of that 10. I'm not going to be number 11 who doesn't get it. I'm going to be in this scholarship. That goes back to my number one point with having faith in yourself. So I go into the room, and it's this big boardroom filled with people around the conference table. I want to say there was about like 12 different people. There were some students, some what looked like faculty, staff around the table. And I was so nervous, but I was like, all right, I need to be my authentic self. I can't be shy because I didn't come all the way to New Jersey to be shy. So I went and I shook everybody's hand. Hi, I'm Delores. Hi, I'm Delores. Hi, I'm Delores. I'm like, I just got to give it what I got. And I was shaking in the inside, but I tried to be my authentic self and I tried to bring it. That is tip number, I think I'm on 10. I don't know, but that is the next tip, which is to be your authentic self. Be you, because people can tell when you're not being true to who you are. So you want to be yourself, but you want that who you are to shine times 10, because it's all or nothing. When are you going to have this opportunity again? So you have to remember, if you get an opportunity to do an interview, whether for a university or for a scholarship, be you, boo. Now I'm going to keep it real and share that I also had a moment where I broke down, and it wasn't like, but they asked me something that had to do, I don't remember. I'm just going to say that it was something like, why do you want this? And I just got emotional out of nowhere. Tears started flowing down my eyes, and I was like, I want this so bad because I cannot attend Seton Hall if I don't get a scholarship like this. I simply cannot afford it. And I said something like, it is so important for me to get a scholarship like this because I've been seeing so many of my classmates. So again, I went to a social justice school that was majority minority students from lower income areas. So I was seeing so many of my classmates who were so smart, so driven, so ambitious, not being able to go to the schools that they wanted to because they couldn't afford to attend it. And that was breaking my heart, not only because I was experiencing the same situation, but I knew that there were other students who were so deserving and so smart of these opportunities to attend these big schools, and they just couldn't afford it. And so that just brought tears to my eyes as I was sharing that. And I think that moment, that authentic moment, so I wasn't just crying just because, but I think that authentic moment really did touch the scholarship. I left that day feeling like I put everything on the table. I gave it my all. And I don't even know how long, maybe a couple weeks or a couple months later, my high school principal gets a call. I don't know, maybe they called me first, but I missed it because I was in school. But my high school principal gets a call and brings me to his office, and I get on the phone with Dr. Forrest Pritchett. Shout out to him because he's been an angel in my life. He's the director for the scholarship. He tells me, hello, Delores. He has that deep, reverend voice. And he tells me that I got the scholarship, and oh my God, my life was made in that moment, and it's definitely changed my life since, and I'm so appreciative of it. So yes, I got the scholarship. Over $120,000 in scholarships. And mind you, I applied to about 80 scholarships, and I got that one, and I also got a Dunkin' Donuts scholarship. So don't sleep on the baby scholarships. So the Dunkin' Donuts scholarship was about $1,000. A lot of times people see scholarships that offer $500, $1,000, and they're like, I want the big ticket ones. Of course, apply for the big ticket ones, but you also want to apply for the baby ones. Don't sleep on them because you still got to pay for books. You still got to pay for room and board. You still got to pay to eat. That's a whole nother story about trying to survive in college. Look around your house at the places that you shop. ShopRite, Stop and Shop, Coca-Cola products, Dunkin' Donuts, Lowe's. All of these companies have scholarships that they offer to students that a lot of people don't even know. So if a lot of people don't know, or a lot of people aren't taking the time to apply, that means if you, one, go and seek it, and two, get the energy to put in the work to apply, that's going to put you in an advantage because a lot of people aren't applying to them. Other types of scholarships that you can apply for, so there's scholarships.com, and scholarships.com, you're going to create a profile, and it's going to ask you different questions about yourself so it can start feeding you scholarships that are applicable to you. Now you'll see the quick sweepscapes, I can never say that word, but you'll see those quick scholarships. Honestly, they're easy. You just fill it in and put your name in, but I don't know anyone who's ever gotten them. So a lot of times those easy ones where hundreds of thousands of people are putting their name in, sometimes it's just so they can get you on a mailing list. I'm not saying don't go for it, but don't let that be your bread and butter and the only scholarships you apply for. Also, sororities. I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Shout out to AKA. We support students and give scholarships. Delta Sigma Theta is another sorority that gives scholarships. So look into sororities and fraternities and see what scholarships they offer. That's a resource that a lot of people don't tap into. Also, your church. Your church might have scholarships. And if they don't, put it in the pastor's ear like, hey, a bunch of us are going off to college next year. We do an offering, a special college going offering. You can put it into your pastor's ear to start a scholarship fund. And I can't see a pastor saying that that's not something he would be willing to do. So look into your church, look into your community. The library is a hidden gem that a lot of people don't utilize. They have scholarship books that are specific to different populations of people. They also, Hartford Public Library, at least I know for sure, and if you're not in Hartford, Connecticut, you can call your local library and ask them if they have a grant database. Hartford Public Library has a grant database, so they have a specific computer that you can sit at for free and tap into their grant database and look at the scholarships they have to offer. Also, look into your local scholarships. So again, I'm speaking to Hartford, Connecticut, because that's where I grew up, but there's the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving. So a lot of different states have scholarships like that that are specific to a certain area that you can go and get scholarships for. So do the work and it's gonna be so worth it because college is expensive, y'all. Who trying to pay that? It's expensive. Go apply for scholarships and don't be lazy. One of my biggest regrets, so if you're a college student now and you're watching this, one of my biggest regrets is that I didn't keep that same energy I had when I was in high school trying to get scholarships. I got comfortable. When you're in college, you can continue to apply for scholarships. Of course, there are more that tailor to incoming new students, but there are some out there that are for current students. So don't get lazy while you're in college. Continue to look for those scholarships and take the time, even if it's like once a month or once a week that you apply to a scholarship, it's worth it. And that's something that I wish I would have done as I was in college. All right, so I truly believe to much is given, much is required. I've been given so many opportunities in my life between the Dr. Martin Luther King Scholarship, between the mentors who have poured so much into me. I want to be that for someone else, or I want to continue to be that for others. So I am here to offer 2 people. Now I can only do 2 people because I want to be real with the time, the commitment that I can provide. And I really want to take my time with you. I'm going to offer 2 people a video strategy call with me, sit with you one-on-one virtually and help you identify which scholarships would be good for you and help you develop a strategy to make sure that you get some scholarships. Now, I can't promise that you're gonna get these scholarships, but I can help make sure that you are ready and that you have a good strategy to make sure that your chances of getting these scholarships are higher. So, like I said, I could only do 2. The application must be completed by July 15th. So that's about a month from now. It's really quick. I want to make sure that you're serious. So if you can fill out my application to do the strategy call with me, then I know when I work with you, you're going to be ready to do different applications. So here are the requirements before you apply. I want to work with someone who's a rising senior, meaning you are about to enter into your senior year, you just finished your junior year. I want to work with someone who's first generation. So if you are first generation to go to college, that means your parents, neither one of your parents or your guardian, whoever you're living with, neither one of them completed their college degree from a 4-year institution. So they do not have a bachelor's degree. That means you are a first generation student like myself, and I want to work with you. So then the third requirement is that you must be coming from a lower middle income household. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole whatever the IRS considers low income, middle class. If you know, you know. If your parents are working multiple jobs or you have to work a side job to help either in the household or to help support yourself, you know if you're lower income. And this is going to be all in an honor system. I really want to take the little time that I have to help 2 first-gen lower income students. So if that doesn't look like you, please pass this one by, and I'm happy to help you in the comments below. Drop whatever questions you have. But if this does look like you, what are you waiting for? Hit the link below and apply by July 15th, and I'm going to pick 2 people to work with And if you apply and I don't pick you, I'm still going to answer whatever questions you have. I'm happy to help you. I just don't have the time to do a video strategy call with everyone. Maybe in the future I'll be offering more, so make sure you keep watching my videos. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know what else you want to see. I'm happy to continue to give college and career tips. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I'd love for you to join our community and our family. And that is it. Thanks for taking this journey with me. Peace.